after Monaco, which was a really good race for Monaco, the track itself. I'm here with Adam. Adam, hello. Um,
Hello, thank you for having me. It's great to be here and looking forward to a great race.
we have again a full house, I think. Only one of the Racing Points needs to join. Marco, who got kicked from the league, is in the session, which is really weird, but he got a one-off time race. So this is the driver lineup for Mercedes. It's the Season 3 champion Michael and Simon. In the Ferrari we have Steve and Joran, really competitive midfield and might become challenging for the P2 spot in the constructors. Red Bull we have Monster and Lucas, which changed his name to FEL Freeze, but we'll call him Lucas. It's your boy Alfie and Aardapol, aka Benjamin the Renault. In the Rich Energy Haas team we have SHR making his return and Paul switching from Alpha to Haas, which is quite an interesting move. In the McLaren we have still the team without any points, McLaren, Lorenzo and Killer. In the Racing Point we have Ice-T, Beats, AK, Troy and Marco. In the Racing Point you have Rike and still a seat left. Same for Red Bull, probably some guys left. In the Toros we have Tractor, is new to the league, and Jelle. And the constructors leading team with also the championship leading driver Thomas and Felix. Felix made his debut in Monaco, and Thomas won his third race of the season in Monaco, which was a good race for Monaco. But here we are back for round 6. Yeah. And then what are your predictions?
Well, it's an exciting field. Just looking through the pack now and seeing rolling into the which surprised that I'm familiar with in the competition racing. The likes of Ice-T, our current champion leader in VRL F2. We have
Felix.
Felix in VRL F1 as well.
Marco drove in VRL as well. Steve, Thomas, Aardapol, Benjamin, I think it was as well. Yeah, that was it. But
No, it's looking like a good race. Big start lead car 114 is looking favourite so far for the first race in Bahrain 4.
yeah, and it's Maiko. He's a really upcoming talent for the league. Future champion, if you ask me. Mm. Yeah. I want one thing, hopefully that will happen this race. A different race winner than Thomas or Michael, because we had 5 races. It was Thomas, Michael, Thomas, Michael and Thomas. So you're just switching off race by race. Thomas finished all the races in the top 2 and Michael once in the top 4, so yeah, it's really close in the championship battle, but I just hope to have a good race. Maybe Felix getting his first win or podium, which I think we'll see quite happening in anytime soon. Important.
Want to win and get a podium in Bahrain, you are going to have to qualify well. So one lap pace is going to
Mhm.
easiest track to manage tyres, difficult setup to get right, so balance will be important for the cars. But these guys at the crew and field are going to be more than capable of getting the right setup going. So I'm expecting a good race, a couple DRS zones as well. So there's going to be plenty of overtaking, especially into turn one. It's going to
Yeah.
be good.
Um,
Quite strong. So be careful on that.
but getting back to the championship, Thomas has 111 points. Michael exactly 100 points, and there is a massive gap of 64 points between Michael and Ice-T Beats, aka Troy, in third place. So that's a massive gap. Even Simon can't match it. Even Sam has 33 points, but he left the league, or he got kicked by me. Sorry for that again, Sam. You're still angry at me, but from Aardappel, aka Benjamin, to Troy, it's only 12 points still. Third and 8th, so that's really good. And then we have Felix in 12th place, or 11th, and then he is with 10 points, and then everyone's behind him with 1-1 for the Toro Rossos, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys without a point in the first 5 races, so that's a big amount of guys who haven't got any points yet, so I hope they'll score anytime soon. Ooh. 28, yeah. But look at Paul, he's on the soft tires, which is I think not really good for his strategy, because he's also go down immediately in 5 laps. I think the strategy will be medium to hard, if you ask me. Steve. Look at their VSR Barry behind Lorenzo lining up for their lap. Probably Paul is the first one to set a lap time. Where is he, Paul? Oh, he dropped a bit down the field, but I think that's going to be Lorenzo. He's on the hard tire. Didn't score any single point this season and last season, so he had some tough luck in the last rounds, but got a good race in Monaco, but just couldn't match the top 10 pace. But hope to see the change in anytime soon. Visa Barry on the timed lap, Paul as well, Ice-T, Benjamin and Killer are all on their timed lap. Detail, telemetry, lap data, yes, and the track map. That will be very nice. Very nice. Oh, Lorenzo invalidated this time. So it's Aardappel, the first one to set a lap time with the classic number 69. Probably for the meme. Yeah.
There's always one.
Mhm.
Usually that's me when I'm racing.
So your racing number is 69, 69, or sometimes. And what other number would you rather pick, the number 1 or 69? 10. And why is that? Paul with now with the fastest lap, but only 9/10 faster than Aardappel Benjamin, who was on the hardest compound compared to Paul on the softest. Paul hasn't scored any points yet. But I think last season of league racing I drove with number 22, Jensen Button fan here. But I wanted to change something, so I choose 87. Probably because I just liked it. But yeah, ooh, Tractor making his debut and invalidating it already. I think, oh no, we got purple in sector 2. Paul still with the fast lap. Thomas in P3, just 1/10 behind Benjamin. But my favorite number is number 17, but you can't pick that because of Jules Bianchi, which is obviously really sad it happened, but yeah, I just would like to pick my own number. It was actually one of my first F1 races I watched live. So yeah, I started watching or noticing F1 around 2010. Just you hear it sometimes on the internet, but not really much. I was 4 back then, so I didn't know how the TV worked. Yeah. Oh, Felix making quite a mistake into the tricky hairpin, which is probably costing him a time, but probably he's still finishing it. Barry with the fastest lap of 1:27.5, but he's on a soft tire, so I don't know if that counts because we're probably on the wrong strategy. Tim with 1:28.9, just about 11 hundredths of a second behind Thomas, the championship leader. Both Red Bulls quite close to each other, 4 thousandths of a second behind each other. Monsters in front and Lucas. Oh, sorry, Monsters behind, Lucas is in front. Yes. We don't hear the other car you're talking to. Just check your priority settings and it will be fixed. It's only qualify. I can't switch from Simon. Wait. Tim might holding up a racing point there. Who it is? It's Barry. Ooh, they're touching while they're in their in lap, probably. Not what you want on your in lap. Enrique is the only one probably on a timed lap here. Is coming to cross the finish line. AMP9. 1:29.1, only 1/1000th of a second behind Monster, which is the closest you can get apart from exactly the same time. Michael going out for his lap. Iran here on his out lap as well. Same for Simon and it's your boy Alfie. Alfie haven't scored any points yet. But he's struggling with the ABS, but he's managing it in the time he's learning it.
Okay, I think I might have changed it. So, just to the audience that are watching it, if someone could just let us know if you can now hear me on the broadcast. I've just changed a few settings.
Wait, I can hear it. I have to stream on a tablet.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, great. Okay, brilliant. Well, apologies for that. And for those of you that are just hearing me for the first time, thank you very much, Severe. I can see there. So my name is Adam, and I am a commentator for VRL, the Vision Racing League. So just a quick cheeky plug, if I may. I can see a lot of our favourites from the VRL League. If you are interested in watching any of other content throughout this week in online racing leagues, you can see some of your favourite drivers here on the Vision Racing League, VRL F1 and F2, on their YouTube channel Hot Lap Mode VRL_PS4. You can also follow us on Twitter for VRL_PS4 and on Instagram under Vision Racing. With that out of the way, thank you very much. So back to qualifying.
Yeah, Mike, Simon is on his timed lap. He's put it a purple sector 1, which is really good, but there's Tractor and his teammate in front. Probably his teammate going to give him a slipstream. Tractor
Yeah, it's
needs to
getting
get
really,
out
really
of the
bunched up.
way.
Yeah.
Tractor, get out of the way.
That's usually the problem when you get people on timed laps like that, and you've got other people trying to fight to get the best lap possible. You end up
Yeah.
finding the slower drivers are getting in the way of the
And what
faster
time going
ones.
to do? It's only P2, but it's a really fast time on the medium tires. Michael got into the pit lane, probably selected the wrong tire.
Yeah, I don't think he'll mind that too much. I mean, the traffic was there, would have caused him a bit of turbulence and distractions before the beginning of Sector 3, but he got quite a big toe coming up before the final corner, so if anything, that's probably helped him out more than hindered.
Here's
So,
Steve
no, it's a good lap.
towing his teammate, and his teammate gets a P4 time. 9 tenths behind Simon, which is on the same tire compound as he is, and he's probably
Ferraris
towing
helping
his
each other out.
teammate Steve. Steve is doing quite well in the championship, if I remember. Season 1 champion, the founder of the Euroleague. Tim is also on his time lap, just starting it.
So we've got the two Ferraris are really trying to battle it out for track position while they're on the qualifying laps. That's not really going to be good going into the tight and twisty section of Sector 2, especially turns 8
Both
and
are
9.
on the time lap. You're probably now going to the pits, and Steve is on his out lap, so no big trouble for them.
Yeah, so this is not what they want, just getting each other's way, but it's not really what from your teammate.
No, certainly not. Probably Tim Larry on track. With that, probably you're one of the first ones to set a really competitive lap time. VSR Barry in front of him, but letting him through very maturely. Three guys haven't set a lap time yet. Those is Maiko, the reigning champion, Steve, and Troy. Troy, P3 in the championship. Steve just behind him, I think. But there's a massive gap between the top two and the drivers behind.
Troy running his new gamer tag, VSR Ice-T, formerly Ice-T Beats. For those of you familiar with VRL F2, our current championship leader, runaway championship leader in that league. So be interested to see how he gets on today.
Watch for the both of the Williams teams on their time laps. Felix probably could set his first competitive lap time. Towing his teammate, it's P5 and P3 for Thomas. P6 for Felix, sorry, Felix 128.2. 2 tenths down, 4 tenths down his teammate, but I think he can still improve. Also watch Ice-T Beats at P5. Good lap time from him then. Finally, probably finding his qualifying spirit. A Monster in P5, so that's a good lap from him. Benjamin in P3, which is dropping Felix right down on the order. Mike on his out lap. Steve again into the pits.
So, Matthias, just as I'm looking through the stream at the moment, is it possible to show the tyres, perhaps, that the guys
sure.
are on the telemetry?
Oh.
Just for the benefit of those to see what tyres they're setting their times on. As mentioned before we realised that you couldn't hear me on the stream, viewers, if you are watching on the live stream, tyre choice is going to be important for the race ahead. Normally the Bahrain race would be a 2-stop race for most drivers, however you can make the 1-stop work, hence why a lot of the guys out there on the mediums will be trying to go long in the first stint. The safety car will become an issue, I imagine, if there is one, and with the current patch I wouldn't be surprised if there was.
Felix improving for P4.
Yeah, it's going to be important in this race. I think if you can get the strategy right and be on the right tyre at the right time, that's really going to help. And if there is a safety car, those starting on the medium tyres are going to be absolutely loving it, considering that it will make it much easier for them to do a one-stopper. Having said that, there isn't one driver in the top 10 that is on the medium tyres, from what I can see, is on the harder tyres at the moment. The mediums, you've got seven on the medium tyres, 3 on the softs. So it's quite a mixing strategy at the moment.
Probably the soft run is going to pit really early in like lap 6 already, because the softs won't last really long. Tim here on the mediums, trying for his probably final lap, or he's having enough fuel for 2.
Well, we're coming up to the fun part of qualifying now, where a lot of the guys are going to be either completing a lap or they're going to be coming into the pits to fit on some new tyres and to go out for one last burnout. As we're with Tim Wentling 42, who's just completed a lap, and he's about to start his fast lap on the hard tyre. So if he can get into the top 10...
mediums.
Eyes on the medium side, excuse me. I'm not even seeing it. I'm looking over the telemetry rather than watching it on the screen. There we go. Yeah. So he's going to want to set a good time to get into the top 10. For those of you unfamiliar with the format, the top 10 will qualify and start the race on the tyres that they complete their fastest laps on. For those of the other drivers that do not qualify in the top 10 will have a free choice to start on whichever tyre they feel they want to. So it'd be interesting to see what choices that the others make to try and make us some ground if they don't qualify into the top 10.
Michael in P4, Felix 8 tenths behind. What's the gap between everyone? It's only 27 hundredths of a second between Barry and Simon, and then it's 9.8 for Benjamin, 1.108. I can't speak today. But not really far behind. Tim in P8, but it's really close. It's top 7 between 2 tenths. Said it's really good. Top 10,
really tight.
top 12 between
Tim
9
goes,
tenths.
And Tim goes 8th fastest on the medium tyre, excuse me. So that's I don't think he'll be too disappointed with that, given the delta between the mediums and the softs. But I think he would have preferred to be a bit further up the order.
Yeah, he's a good driver, as you see in VRL, driving with Felix as a teammate, and also in other leagues, EVR as well, and count the names, and he's a real fast driver, so I think he is disappointed with this result.
For the moment, but thankfully for him, because he's starting on the medium tyres at the moment, I mean, under the assumption that no one else gets in front of him.
This is interesting. Thomas on the soft tyres.
So he's going to go for it then.
Same for Simon. And Paul and VSD, IST, and Killer, Tractor, SHR, and it's your boy Alphabet. Do you think Thomas is going to take the big gamble to go on the soft tyres, or... It looks like it, but I won't believe it. Or is he going for the pole position?
Well, this will be important because he needs to make sure he nails this lap, especially on the soft tyres, but at the same time he's going to have to remember to try not too hard to burn those tyres out, because he's going to need them at the start of the race. And if he wants to get further ahead, the last thing he's going to want is to be stuck in traffic and burn those tyres out.
That
ends up compromising his strategy.
Ahead of him, it's probably IST beats in front of him. That's a lie, sorry, it's a Torosso. He's quite some time in front of him. VST IST with a fast lap so far, so it's a 1-2 for Racing Point. So that's really good.
Yeah, that's
Barry still needs to set a lap time.
So that's IST beats, or VSR IST has gone fastest on the soft tyres, so he's left it late, but that's a good lap for him, and he'll be really happy with that, showing his 1 lap pace.
So Paul in P4 and VSR Barry are on their timed lap, but Felix probably going down P8 because his team is probably going to improve.
Well, we've got Tim in P9 at the moment, so the last thing he's going to want is to fall out the top 10, but it might not be too bad if he's got free choice of tyre for the race at the moment.
Well, only one guy behind him is going to set lap time too, but I don't think they will improve. Thomas now with the fastest sector 2.
I mean,
is he going for the pole?
I
think he is. I think he's going to take it.
Yeah, he's looking quick. He set the purple in sector 2. He's just coming across the line.
Oh, he's going to cancel.
Oh,
Ooh, that's interesting. What's Paul or VSR Barry going to do? Is he going to attack his teammate for the
well,
pole?
I believe perhaps he felt that he wanted to start the race on the medium tyres, and that time would have put him on the soft. But having said that, given that it would have got him track position most likely, I don't know if that's the best call. But we'll find out in the race.
Disappointing qualifying for Williams with P7 and 8.
But they'll be playing the long game. They're going to be starting on the alternate strategy rather than the soft tyres. So they'll be coming through the field later on, and they look like two of the faster drivers in the field. So it would be great to watch them come through the field. Be keeping an eye on them.
Well, this is the qualifying result. Ice-T, aka Tur, takes his first pole position of the league for him. And it's a 1-2 for Racing Point, his teammate just behind him on the softs. Then we have Simon, Paul, Benjamin, Maiko, Felix, Thomas, Tim, Monster, Lucas, Steve, Rike, Joran, Killer, Lorenzo, aka Yellow Tractor, Lorenzo, SHR, and it's your boy Alfie again in last place. But he's finding the pace. In Spain he was 7 seconds of the pole time. And now it's only 2.9. So you see the improvement he has.
Well, the pack are fairly close together up till around 15th. Having said that, a lot of guys in the top 10 starting on the medium tyres. So there's definitely going to be a battle between those guys to try and get the track position and to be the lead medium runner. ICB starting, well, stop calling him that really, starting on the softer tyres. So he's going to want to get away. The 2 racing points, hopefully for them, decide amongst themselves before the race to try and control the pace of the rest of the field. If they can do that, they should be able to make that strategy work and try and leave the others behind. However, if they squabble, it's going to compromise their strategy and bring the medium runners in. So it's definitely exciting. It's all to play for, and this should be a pretty good race under the lights.
Yeah. Yes. We're just now waiting to the guys to ready up so we can start the safety car, but the first time we see both Racing Points in the top 2.
It's
Actually,
a familiar
never
sight.
happened before.
It's a familiar sight in the VRL leagues, I can assure you that.
I know. Luke and
Yeah,
Sam's doing great.
Well, I mean, you've raced in the VRL leagues yourself, and you've seen it for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's it's a quick league. But it seems to be a trend with the Racing Points. They seem to always have quick drivers in the car. Not that the other teams don't have the quick drivers, but it seems to be a trend that the faster drivers tend to often end up in the Racing Points. So must be something about that car, despite equal pace, that we're not quite aware of. I'm sure there's no wrongdoing going on there.
Probably the Pink Panther going.
You gotta love the Pink Panther. Love the Pink Panther. One of my favourite little biscuits, those Pink Panther ones.
I always watched the TV cartoon when I was a little kid on Cartoon Network.
I'll tell you what, show my age a little bit, but if you want to have a laugh, you should really watch the old Pink Panther films with Peter Sellers. It's some of the funniest stuff I've seen growing up. So you'd definitely enjoy it. And for those of you watching that haven't seen it, definitely check out some scenes on YouTube with Peter Sellers in Pink Panther. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. But back to the formation lap, as we've got a race to cover.
Yeah, we have. But yeah. I think the Racing Points are going to double stack, and then hopefully to stop on soft, medium. I think
that's going to be interesting, yeah. I think that will probably be the sensible strategy. However, they'll probably be hoping for a safety car. That will probably allow them to pit and jump
only
onto
4
the
soft
harder
runners.
tyres.
Ice-T, Barry, Paul, and It's Your Boy Alfie. So
I mean, I wouldn't have picked the soft tyres if it were me. I would have probably gone for the mediums.
Yeah.
I think the hard tyres, you'd have had to have been very quick to get the hard tyres on.
No, but the hards come to you at the end, like
oh, they do.
on the medium, probably you stop on lap 13 or something between 13 and 15, and then they just come to you after lap 24, and then they feel like new softs. But here we are for round 6 of the EuroLeague season 4 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. 4, 3, 5 lights, and away we go. We're quick lights. Barry not reacting really good. Simon actually getting a really good start. Also Paul, but they on the softs. Still
That's a
Ice
really
T
good
in the
getaway.
lead. We have everyone is getting away cleanly. Is there going to be any contact? There is not any contact. Only a Joran really losing a lot of places. And oh, wasn't the
Oh,
wall.
this.
It's Killer after a good qualifying
Yeah.
for me. He's in the wall.
Oh,
Look at Paul
yeah.
battling for the podium.
I mean, that's such a shame in the
Oh, and
McLaren.
Thomas
Oh my
down
word.
to P14, the championship leader.
Yes,
But
what's gone on
something
there?
must have happened there. Tim made an absolute flyer from P8.
Well, that is not the start the championship leader would have wanted. Absolutely
Lorenzo's
not. And he's
getting
going
a
to have
good
to find his
start.
way through the field.
Oh, Felix locking up. Just avoiding the Mercedes of Maiko. Now having to watch his back for Lucas. Lucas known as aggressive driver. And everyone got away cleanly except for Killer, which probably got punted off by someone or just
Might have been a bit too keen on the throttle coming out of turn 1 and turn 2. Sorry. Usually the back end, if you really not modulate the throttle properly, you can lose the back end and it throw you into the wall like that.
Kai Elting. Oh, it's a VSC. But Kai Elting lost 4 places. Are we going to see a bit activity already so early on in the race? I don't think.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if anybody does, Pete. I'm just looking through the field at the moment, and this will be a good for Killer. Well, not so much for Killer 7 virtual safety car. A regular one would have been better, but it's too early for anyone to want to pit now. But we are seeing 3 drivers at the back. FEL, Joran, Lorenzo Bennett. They may have had damage to fix and not given an opportunity for them to get a cheap pit stop. Be interesting to see what tyres that they put on, if we're able to see that on the telemetry as well. But yeah, as you were, Ice-T beats, VSR Ice-T getting away well.
And we're
as
already
he's
on
done.
the way, sorry, forgot.
Yeah, oh sorry, yeah, we're back in. Sorry, yeah, just getting away well as he does from the start. And he'll want to control this race now. But he'll have Bot Torment to really chase him down on the medium tyres.
But probably Paul picking the wrong strategy and probably losing some places when he tries to stretch his soft tires. As they won't last really long here, Felix almost making contact with the gearbox of Maiko. But we finally have a track where you can overtake. It's not like Monaco where you're driving trains and...
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, it's good because you've got a couple of DRS points. Most of the time to be in turn 1. That's where most of the overtakes are going to be. So it's good to get a good run out of the final corner. As we just come out from following Felix at the moment. He looks like he's going to try and get a run. Say he's going to turn 1.
Thomas on Steve. DRS is enabled. Thomas going down the inside probably of Steve. Steve's not fighting too hard as he's on the same compound with his old Ferrari teammates from last. Oh, and there's a spinner from Rike to agree on the throttle.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Losing place.
It's probably the same thing that happened to Killer 7 on the first lap. Just got a bit too keen on the throttle, too much curb on the exit of turn 2, and it's so easy to lose the back end there like that.
It is. Felix in P9, Thomas trying to push for the last point because he's the championship leader. He wants to show he is. Barry trying to push the Paul to get the last podium spot. But this isn't really an overtaking opportunity in Sector 3, the end of Sector 2. Sector 3 is just 2 main long straights, and 1 tricky corner. If you touch the inside curb, you probably have 99% chance of spinning and ruining your set of tires and need to pit for new tires, or even damaging your front wing, which I won't be happy with. If that will have a Tim gone wide here on the last corner, which might allow Micah to overtake him.
It wasn't a good run out of the final corner.
He got wide. Felix also might profiting from this battle here. Oh, and there is Paul crashing.
Oh well, just you could almost see that happening. He just
and Tim lost two
again,
places probably.
It's the same thing again. Oh wow, how are they going to avoid each other here? It's surely going to be contact. Renault
Tim
just
lost two places. Does the Renault has any damage? Yes, he has.
Look like, yeah.
And he gave Maiko damage. Maiko got damage as well.
Yeah, you can just see
they're really holding up everyone. Just get out of the way, Benjamin.
It's just all going off now. They're all compact together. They're all trying to fight. They're all on medium tyres. They've got to preserve these tyres, lads. Otherwise, you're going to end up burning them up before the soft runners actually hit. This is playing right into the hands.
But Maiko got damage, and.
But he's battling with Bottor Menz for first and second. They're just on top of each other.
Oh yeah, we're going to watch the battle for first place.
Literally
Simon really flying on the medium tyres, so it's probably feeling good on the mediums. And I see tyres already starting to fall down.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm wondering if he's just preserving his tyres, but the run into turn 1's going to be key now with the RCs. He's got to have a good run into there.
Trying to break the stitching. Simon going for the outside of turn 1. Side by side. And probably Simon has took the lead of the Grand Prix. But Troy is still there, but he's on the soft, which is faster in the main straight.
He's so tight, he's got a bit. Looks like he might be able to get back.
Inside. Oh, and probably Simon still has it.
He just almost lost it going into turn 4, Ice-T there, but they just managed to avoid contact. And that's good driving from those two to avoid that, and that's a great overtake from Bottor Menz, and on the medium tyres as well. I don't know if Ice-T was trying to preserve his soft tyres or not, but he's now found himself in second place, and I think it might be better for him to just sit tight there and just manage his own race now with Bottor Menz. He's in a great position from this point to control the race on the slower tyre, although he's not making it look slow, to try and pull a bit of a gap now, preserve his tyres, and then he'll be much faster towards the end. He's definitely looking comfortable at this point and looking good to win the race.
I'm curious to see if Michael going to pit for a front wing when he is going to pit for also a new set of hards, because damage is probably slowing him down, and Felix, Tim and both are Red Bulls are in his DRS range. Felix trying to get down the inside of the last corner, and they're still side by side, probably Felix getting the DRS. No, it's not.
Certainly wasn't waiting around.
Ice-T in the pits.
He wants to get them soft tyres off now.
Tim and Felix are fighting for P3.
It's going to be tight.
And Felix made the overtake. Stick. But there's still Tim, which is also really hungry for the third place.
It's a good move from Felix there. He held it well. Held
on the outside. Making a bit of contact.
Oh, it's tight. Literally fine margins going in there. Just be able to hold it.
Look at a big train of 5 drivers, but Red Bull going wide. Probably Felix trying to find a connection.
Yeah, I mean, it's very tight. Again, I think these are all medium runners again, so they're all burning their tyres out trying to overtake one another. Really what you want to be doing, if you're not at the front of that pack, is just to sit tight and just wait it out, because those guys are going to wreck their tyres, and that'll be your opportunity to make some places later on in this race. If you keep overtaking on
yeah, we have a first DNF. Why did he retire? Oh, probably he just retired.
He might have just left, yeah. Matthias, if you can on the telemetry, I think I've just seen in the comments section, just if you can bring telemetry to show what tyres everyone is currently running on. I've had a few questions asking which tyres some drivers are on. There we go, lovely, thank you very much. So, and just for the audience, oh, I had the Alfa Romeo, just sorry, missed it there a couple of seconds ago. Tim, weren't we just going? No, sorry, that was Rike with the very long phone number. Back there going really wide about a couple of seconds ago.
Just calm, Rike.
So, And just for the audience watching in, if you're watching on the live stream, do feel free to add to the comments, and we will be reading those as the race goes on and try to answer some of your questions if you can later on. Please keep it clean though, I must say.
Benjamin was the fastest lap. On his hard tires, the top 12 is on the mediums. Both of the racing points are on the 2-stop, which was a thing you could expect. Maiko here battling with Thomas, his championship rival. Thomas,
yeah, and
after a bad start.
Just drawing back to Ice-T, after going down the second, pitted to put on the medium tyres, and he's in quite a lot of space at the moment. He's 7 seconds, or closing quickly on Lorenzo in the McLaren ahead of him.
Them being stuck by slower cars, you can push.
It can affect your strategy, but at the moment, because he's quite a margin away, he might be able to make this work by the time Bottomend makes his pit stop, but he's going to have much older tyres in the second stint of this race. So really, yeah. It's Bottomend, and Felix as well has made his way all the way up into second at the moment. So he's looking very good, I must say. It's looking like a second half race is going to shape up very nicely.
Indeed it is. Troy now with the fastest lap. It's train driving here, which is not a weird thing. Ooh, Benjamin 5-second time penalty exceeding track limits.
Well, that's going to be a factor as well.
Positions changed. The top 5 both made up 6 places. Felix 5, Simon 2. Lorenzo, he's finally driving in the points, but he has a big gap. Made up 9 places. Steve made up 4. Thomas made up 1 after a bad start. Yeah. The Red Bulls overtaking each other.
Yeah, I think Christian Horner probably be sitting in a cold sweat watching every time he sees Red Bulls battling each other. That seems to be quite a common thing, and it never ends well. But this occasion, it's a clean move around the inside. And
around the inside.
Well, for once, usually they end up driving into the back of each other half the time in real life Formula 1. So I think he'd be probably happy watching that kind of overtake.
I don't know if I want to mention it, but the Red... Oh, Alfie retired from the session, but is it safety car? So you might see some activity. Michael going to the pits and Thomas follows. But,
yeah, I see. This is the problem. I think sometimes when people leave the sessions or retire, it does trigger a safety car, and as a result, we're now seeing a lot of drivers, including Dar FIFA 114, the championship leader, taken into the pits.
But it's not a league-related thing. But I mentioned that a friend of the Red Bull teammate, team boss, has passed away. I don't know what happened, but why and what. But condolence to the family and friends of him. To Josh.
That's a shame. Yes.
I thought he died in a motor racing accident, but I'm not sure. Ooh, Simon has a drive-through penalty for speeding under the pit lane. A race leader.
Oh well, I mean, this is the thing. If those of you familiar with the VRL leagues that I also commentate on, one of the biggest issues is some of the drivers getting penalties for such silly things. It's almost as if they
where in China Thomas just cut the corner by 1 centimeter, got a 5-second time penalty, and there was a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Then he touched Michael really slightly. None of them got damaged or ruined their race. Got a 5 seconds, but both got removed.
That's what happens under the safety car as well. It's the easiest time for people to sort of drive into the back of each other or cut the corner, and that's when you get the most severe penalties. And sometimes in these kind of races, the best drivers and the ones that tend to win at the end are the ones that commit the least.
The top 6 on the medium, behind till Lorenzo on the hards. We have Rike on the softs and Killer, as well. Ooh, Lucas 5-second time penalty, spinning in the pit lane, but Felix here in the pits, which is allowing Monster to get in the lead of the Grand Prix. This is probably one of the best calls I've ever seen in the league. Felix rejoining the track in P2, it is probably. in just in P3, but he's on the podium spot right now. Oh, what happened to Ice-T? He switched to the hard, so nothing strange happened.
He's the biggest loser in all of this, Ice-T. He'd not long pitted to come onto the medium tyres, and as a result of the safety cars, completely compromised his strategy. And he's now had to put on the hard tyres, but he will probably go to the end of the race on those tyres, so he will come into his own later on. The biggest winner is VSR Berry, recently pitted onto the medium tyres, and now he's up into second place behind Monster, who I believe still has to make his pit stop. So,
yeah,
considering the start that he had, where he fell down the field after that mistake out of turn 3, he's back up into prime position now, and there's work to do for some of the others behind him. And so it'll be interesting to see how Ice-T gets on. He will be one to watch later on, providing he doesn't burn his tyres out too early.
Yes. Sorry, just got distracted. I think Felix is also one of the biggest winners with Tim. Sorry, rejoining very good after the safety car. Are both on a podium position except for Tim, but qualifying PA, P9, right up to P4. Good first stint from also the Dutchman, and Ice-T Beach got a, sorry, VSR Ice-T got a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limit. Sorry, I'm a bit tired.
Yeah, I was just going to say, late night last night, Matthias.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for those of you, like, we're back under action now.
Ooh. Ollie.
Oh, sorry, excuse me, I thought the safety car was coming in, but it doesn't look like that's happening. So,
no,
yeah, so we're still going to go around on the
really
safety car. Yeah, so happy birthday, or happy birthday for tomorrow, I should say.
Thank you.
To Matthias. Are you planning on doing anything big for your big day, or is it just going to be...
It's going to be with my mom and grandmother, because I had my party with friends and other family members yesterday.
Oh, lovely.
And having next weekend a party at my dad's place, because I have divorced parents. So I get 2 birthday parties, which is nice, but he lives on the other side of the country, so I need to travel 2 hours with the train. But yeah, I got a good night yesterday. I shown you a good picture.
Yeah, no, I saw, yeah.
I won't
Looked like
mention
you
it
were
in the stream,
having
probably getting
no,
demonetized.
Yeah, no, well, I mean,
it's been late.
Just as a side note, obviously with the controversy with YouTube, the famous F1 YouTuber Aravan finally had his channel reinstated. I mean, that was a crazy story. It's quite scary how someone loses their channel. Oh, hold on. What is going on there?
Does Felix have any damage? No.
Well, I mean, VSR Berry got too close to Monster, and then he just went on the brakes, almost brake checking Felix there.
Mm-hmm.
Felix, I don't know if he's got damage though. I mean, hopefully he should be okay. But
needs the pits. Stops. Only Monster, so the race leader.
Yeah, he's the only one that hasn't stopped at the moment.
Safety car in this lap, so we're underway. We're on the main straight, but yeah. Yesterday night was a great night. And today is also a great night because we're back with racing. So
yeah, we're back Formulaeuroleague racing. So I'm sure those of you, I'm sure you VRL fans that are watching this stream, don't worry, we'll be back next week at Silverstone on Saturday for the VRL F2 in the evening, and also VRL F1 so don't forget to check out the Hot Lap Mode VRL YouTube channel for those races. It's going to be exciting.
Watch VSR Berry trying to overtake Monster. Same for Felix. All the way going down the inside of track. Getting the inside and locking up. But is he getting the first place? He actually is in the lead of the Grand Prix after making...
Wow.
Wow, what a low... Oh! Thomas is in the wall with Steve. Disaster for the championship leader.
Yeah. See, yeah, just the Ferrari's Magic Alonso just veered straight into the wall. I tell you what, he has had some bad luck this season. He always seems to get caught out by those incidents, and it's all going on at the front now. And Berry's now in front of Felix, so he's overtaken him round the outside. That's a great overtake.
Monster getting really bad restart, but Thomas all the way down in 16th place with lost his whole front wing almost, so he needs to pit. So another good race for the championship leader and for Williams so far.
Yeah, Williams will be happy at the moment, but the championship leader, FIFA 114, all the way down at the back, he's got some work to do. He's going to have to come through the field once again.
Once again. But it's Bahrain, and with another safety car, he'll get back at them. But I think he can score points, so... Williams are 25 points ahead of Mercedes, so Felix now getting 18 points if it stays like this. Both Red Bulls are in the pits, but if it stays like this, 12 points for Simon, 10 for Maiko, that equals 22. They're only gained 4 points, so not really much.
Just drawing on the Red Bulls again, I mean, Monster would have probably felt he wouldn't want to pit or double stack, but he probably really should have with the safety car, and as a result, he's gone from first all the way down to the back. It's not been much luck for the Red Bulls.
He even rejoins behind Thomas.
Yeah, he's just not had much luck there.
Thomas, gap leader. 45 seconds behind the leader, but I think he can actually drive back to the top of the field or even points. I think he can. Won't be that difficult. Adam, your view of the race so far?
Well, at the moment, I mean, the safety cars really flipped this race upside down. We had VSR Ice-T looking good, and then Optor took the advantage on the medium tyres when he took the lead. Looked like he was going to run away with it. Then that strange retirement, or that person that left the session, has completely flipped this race upside down now. It's completely changed the order. VSR Berry, currently leading. Felix setting the fastest lap of the race, so he's going to want to get back into the lead, and all of a sudden, Felix to be licking his lips at this because he's got a great opportunity to make some ground on the championship leader, who's currently struggling down in 16. This is a great opportunity for those that haven't yet scored many points in this championship to really make up ground. But this will be the point now where some of the drivers may decide, do they want to go to the end, or do they preserve the tyres, or do they want to go flat out on their current tyres and then pit to put on a set of soft tyres with around 6 or 7 laps to go. That's going to be key, assuming there's not another safety car as well, because anything can happen at the moment. But it's been exciting so far, so definitely the second half to look forward to.
Yeah, it's been exciting so far.
I mean, looking at Killer 7 at the start of the race, for example, he was half a minute down after his first lap incident, and he's found himself in the points. So it's crazy how these races can turn around. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this pans out now. We've got VSR Ice-T has moved all the way up into 6th place as well, so he's been a big winner following the safety car period as well, considering that it looked at the start like he'd fallen out of favour because of it, but he's made his way back up the pack.
He is. Also Lorenzo looking for points. VSR buried the fastest lap of the race. Something happened to Benjamin because he's 1.4 seconds in front of Thomas. Probably missed that. Ice-T beats, AK Troy can't get used to the new name. Made a move on it's Paul, but Paul also fighting back, but he's in P6, so if he finishes this race, he'll get his first points of the season and helping Haas in the constructors really well after his teammate got a DNF already.
Well, the one driver that will be licking his lips at this situation is FEL AMG 44 in the Mercedes.
Maiko.
Clearly he's a Lewis Hamilton fan by the sounds of it. He currently in 4th place, and as it stands he will take over the lead of the championship with Darth FIFA 114 sitting in 15th place.
But probably Thomas will get back to the points, and Luke is in front of him. 6.5, then is Killer, Lorenzo, but I think there's going to be one more safety car or something like that, so I think he is really hoping for a safety car so he can get back to the field and hopefully not crash
So what
this
is
time.
So what is the current tyre situation? It'd be good to have a look just to see on the screen if that's okay.
Vias are barely
so
on the
imagine this
2
is-
stop still.
Oh, he's still on the 2-stop.
Oh, and Paul
Oh.
saves it. Oh, almost lost the car there.
Oh yeah, he just about held it. He's not gonna appreciate. Thankfully for him, Joran's still a bit further behind. He's on much older hard tyres, but that is not what you want to do when you want to make those tyres last at the end.
No, he just braked too late and slipped away.
Yeah. I mean,
Ooh,
Joran's
Felix
gonna...
attacking Barry.
Well, this is key
Elton.
for Felix because he's less than half a second behind now, and he's trying to go up the inside, but he just can't quite make it round there. You have to follow him through sector 2. He's on 6-lap hard tyres. He's in a great position. If he can get in front of Berry, or even just stay there, preserve his tyres for a little bit, wait for Berry to make his final stop, because I can't imagine Berry doing another 13, 14 laps on these mediums. And he will, providing that he manages to keep Tim behind him, he will go on to win this race. So it's advantage Felix at the moment. It's just a case of what he decides to do next.
Yeah, not ruining your tires, that's the last thing you want to do. But after starting P7, good race so far after 16 laps. 15.
Well, he's always been at the front. He did a lot of his overtaking before the safety car in that cluster of cars earlier on the medium tyres, so he did very well to get in this position. Lost the lead temporarily to Barry, but
that won't be any problem because Barry has to pit, and I think, I thought he's going to do it right now, but what a move it was again. He just got a good restart after the safety car and got it down the inside of Barry and Pop in Monster, but Monster in 16th place.
Yeah, that's right.
Thomas in a lonely world, in a world of its own. But I think he can push the killer.
I'm just looking through the field now as Killer 7's just pitted to put on some hard tyres, so he'll go to the end. He's in 14.
But he'll have to get down the inside of Joran for P6.
It's just, yeah, unless this is a good move. Yep, that's
ooh, Joran fights
good
back.
But he's there. Oh, there was a bit of contact there earlier between the Ferrari and the Haas. So no signs of any partnership between Ferrari and Haas on that occasion, but it's good recovery from Joran.
Oliver supplying engines to Haas, more no further contact.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the new Haas, but it's basically a carbon copy of the 2019 Ferrari SF90.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, not to trigger Ferrari fans, I mean, me being one of them, but yeah, the Haas, well, I expect it to be quick, really, by that logic.
Yeah, if it's almost the same, I'll probably be fast. They have the same engine, just hopefully they fix the tire problem.
Just hopefully it's better in the corners than the SF90 was. I mean, it was like handling a shopping trolley in those slow corners. It was terrible. It's like watching a drowning
now with the fastest lap.
Yeah, he's really finding the groove at the moment, Felix. And I think he's sitting pretty. He knows he doesn't need to attack Berry. He knows he's on those medium tyres. So
and fun fact, he's on a controller, so that's really...
Is he really on the controller, Felix? Wow, OP pad power there.
OP pad power indeed it is.
Love it.
He's a friend of mine, he's a really good guy to talk with. But he's really fast. He's
I mean, I'm a wheel user.
With the best in VRL 1 Austria, yeah he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had the privilege to commentate on his VRL F1 races, but I have seen a few, and he does look like he's got a lot of pace. So
I hope you'll commentate one anytime soon.
I'm sure they will, but we've got the VRL F2 Championship, which is proving to be really exciting. If you haven't watched it yet, we've got 2 races in Canada and Austria. Definitely check those out on the sites that I've mentioned before. They are definitely worth the watch. Absolute crazy races.
Especially Canada, but
oh, Canada, yeah.
Felix, the fastest one on the hard tires, I think he is. Joran on 16 lap old hard tires. Ooh, Felix drifting through the last corner.
Well, he's taking a lot of curve on that entrance, but he's just a bit too eager on the throttle. Doesn't need to worry about trying to overtake Berry at this point. It's just a case of waiting it out. I don't think Berry's going to finish the race on his tyres. I mean, his tyres are going to be completely shot at this point. But I know
I
he'll want
think
to try
he's
and
trying to
preserve.
stretch them to the soft, so he can do a final stint on the
Possibly.
soft tires.
Possibly. I mean, a lot of the guys behind him are on hard tyres as well, so he might not have a choice. But I think Felix at the moment just needs to bide his time. He will get the opportunity. He will get the opportunity as those tyres start to wear out later on.
Oh lord. Now really looking close to the gearbox of Barry. Probably almost in every corner braking later, having the better steering, yeah, just having everything better on the tire.
But it's minimal steering input, he's looking after it better. The rear end's not really coming out as much as you can see following VSR Berry in front of him. He's doing okay, but the car's sliding out of the back end. It's going to cause the tyres to wear and heat up a bit more, losing the grip, and it's just playing into Felix's hands at the moment in the Williams. He knows what's going on, and he's ready. He'll make his movement when he's ready.
Felix is an experienced driver, so he won't make any rookie mistakes or anything like that.
He's taking a nice wide line out there just to maximise the exit there to get a good run going into turn 1 now, and he's following well in the slipstream and DRS. He might try and make a move now.
Oh, no. Really
Not
close.
this time, but so I've got to say that, I mean, to the some of the viewers on this stream, guys, where are the comments?
Yeah, it's
Sitting
really
here, I'm not
there.
seeing a lot of activity. Guys, come on. Got to give us something to talk about. Way in there, get on the keyboards, comment in, come on.
Adam, question for you. How was your day?
Sorry?
How was your day?
Oh, how was my day? Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, okay, well, I mean, feel free to interrupt, obviously, when something exciting goes on as I'm watching with you. But no, my day's been good so far. Oh, sorry, just a couple of seconds there, Felix locking a brake there.
Yeah.
So just a question, Stein making him, thanks for the comment in. So Felix, I don't believe he needs to make another stop. He's on the hard tyres at the moment. If anyone needs to make a stop, it's probably Berry, but Berry's going to try and preserve those medium tyres to go to the end. Matthias, it might be worth putting the tyre telemetry, just leaving it on there, just for the benefit of the viewers who are tuning in, just so they can see that. Where else? Yeah, it's been a pretty good day, as I said.
Nice.
I was watching some football earlier. Those of you who don't know, I'm based in London, in the UK.
Which team do you support?
Arsenal. So we recorded our biggest win of the season. We beat Newcastle 4-0. So just before this race. So I'm very happy about that.
I'm also happy. My team Twente beat second
cool.
place AZ with 2-0. Oh, Barry making a mistake, which allowed Felix to get more closer. But yeah, we won 2-0 to AZ and now remaining in 13th place. So happy with that.
Just seeing a question in, do we feel that McLaren are going to score points? Well, at the moment,
I think
Lorenzo in the McLaren 8th place at the moment, and Killer 7. I mean, Killer 7 has got quite some way to go. He's about 8-9 seconds off Rike, who's on the mediums, but he's on much younger hards. Killer 7. Lorenzo, he's on about 12 lap old hard tyres, so he's okay at the moment. We're just watching
really
the front
close to Barry, maybe trying it down the inside.
I mean, turn 8 and 9, it's a real killer on the brakes there, the double apex, but he's got a great run, Felix, and he's going to go for it here. He's managed to hold it, he's going to hold on to that as he's coming back at him.
And he probably made it stick. Now coming to a long main straight. Oh, there's a yellow with Rike and yellow. Rike got off the track. This might give Thomas a hope for points to remain his championship lead, but he needs to score somewhere in the top 7, which is probably out of sight if there isn't any. Ooh, very quite close to touching Felix's gearbox, but Thomas needs to get into the points really quick.
He's going to have to try and stick with Felix if he can. I mean, Felix is now in a great position where he can just drive away. Hopefully Berry can use the DRS to stick with Felix, but in the slower corners,
you aren't going to the pits for softs. For the fastest lap, probably.
Possibly, but I think he'd probably have to stick it out because at the moment he's going to be a sitting duck for Tim Wentink and FEL AMG, who are on younger, harder tyres, and they're just going to be pulling right up to the back of him now. So if Berry's got any chance, he's going to have to stick with Felix. Try not to use too much of the tyres and stay with DRS, but as you can see already, he's already locking his brakes into turn 8 and 9, and Felix is just slowly driving away. I think, unless he makes a mistake, he's got this one in the bag, Felix. I think he's in the right place, right time. And not to mention, there are going to be penalties in this race, so do stick around because the order might jumble around for those that haven't served their time penalties. They'll be added on at the end of the race. I remember in a race I covered not too long ago, though we had a driver in second place who had about 15 seconds of penalties, and he ended up dropping all the way down into 9th place.
That's just a shame. You're getting such a good result and Barry going to the pits, but getting such a good result and then just throwing it away by penalties. Tim now with the fast lap, so he's really pushing to...
Yeah, Tim's really pushing. Well, he's got a chance. If he can catch Felix, Felix might get a bit complacent. And now's the time to push if you're on the harder tyres.
Where gets Diaz or Barry back on track? Where does he rejoin? P6? It'll probably be... It's going to be P7. It's P7.
I mean, Barry will be the only one of us that knows how worn his tyres were. I mean, would it have been worth him staying out a bit longer? I mean, I think at the very worst, he probably would have ended up 4th anyway. Maybe 5th if his teammate had caught him. But, I mean, by doing that, he's going to be mega fast towards the end. But I think he may put himself in a position where...
I just hope that Lorenzo gets his first points. He deserves it. The whole McLaren team deserves it, so...
Yeah, it's a legendary team, and he's driven a good race so far, Lorenzo, and he's got a clear track behind him. Joran's too far behind, even on the soft tyres.
Tim made up 7, Felix 6, Maiko 3, Joran 5, Jelle also getting
McLaren in the points.
We want.
Yeah, we want to see McLaren in the points. It's good to see that I mean, it's one of the best looking cars in the field. Even the 2020 season coming up, it looks a phenomenal piece of machinery. I've always been a big fan of the papaya orange look.
Papaya.
Yeah, since Alonso trialled it out in the Indy 500 a couple of years ago, it's definitely been a McLaren colour. Although I must say, I wouldn't mind seeing the old black, silver and red.
I think they're going to do that when they go back to Mercedes engines.
Possibly, but I think that was to tie in with the cigarette brand that obviously they're not allowed to endorse anymore in Formula 1. Funny enough, the Ferrari are actually under some scrutiny over with their partnership with Mission Winnow, but for obviously those reasons. So it's good to see nice mixed deliveries. I mean, the AlphaTauri one looks phenomenal, to be fair. That's my favourite one so far. Gorgeous colour.
But Thomas in P12 probably losing his championship lead, as probably he'll be behind by 7 points, but it's only round 6 and we have 9 rounds to go.
Yeah, it's still going to be close, but today it's just not been his day.
Got unfortunate with a starting incident and a safety car restart, which Steve admitted was his fault, but he got a DNF, so don't think he'll be punished for that. But he ruined Thomas's race, but that's racing. It's the same like when Lewis gets a safety car restart and gets punted off by Vettel. Yeah, it could happen. It's racing.
Well, just a question coming in now in the comment section. Will Berry overtake Paul? Short answer, he is catching Paul very, very quickly, a couple of seconds lap, so I wouldn't be surprised if Berry is able to make that overtake before this race is done. Having said that, unless it's a mistake for his teammate Ice-T in front, I think 5th place will probably be the best that Berry has to hope for, but it's been a good bit of a recovery drive. It's just the strategy has not really worked out for him today. It's probably the wrong tyre at the wrong time, but he's definitely flying at the moment because we're on board with him. Literally, I was just watching him on that last lap. He's pulled out 2 seconds faster than Paul, so he will be with him in the next couple of laps for sure.
Also, Maiko pushing to Tim. Probably if Felix stick to this P1, he'll win his first race in his second race. So that's a phenomenal result. So. Adam, when is your birthday actually?
Oh, mine's not till September, so
I need to
we've still
wait
got a
then.
while away to go till then.
Oh, you're old. How old are you getting then?
Oh, I think. Well, I'm kind of at that age now where you almost like birthdays feel like they come very, very quickly, and you're like, please slow down. Like, it's just, I don't want to get old too quickly. I'm not a teenager anymore. I'll put it that way, but no, I'm still young. Still young. Yeah. It's just sort of that thing that's like you wake up in the morning now, you're at that age, you wake up in the morning and for breakfast instead of cereal, maybe you have ibuprofen instead. You have constant back pain. No. It's something to look forward to when you get into your 20s. It's like you're in your 20s but you have the back pain of an 80-year-old. So yeah, you'll have all that to look forward to.
Ooh, Barry overtook Paul. Sorry, I didn't really saw it, but he's
Yeah,
going to
so
push his
he's
teammate. Who knows?
So yeah, no, he's flying at the moment. He's about
Ooh,
6.5.
Thomas might be actually getting some points.
Yes.
Yes! Probably. I think he's faster
Maybe,
than...
yes. Well, he's right up there battling with the Red Bull. The FPL freeze. Who's gonna lick the stamp and send it, isn't he?
Yeah, he is
Love
probably.
it. Just. Yeah, I mean, the outside of turn one's never the best place to go, but he's got a good run here. He's got to fin off the Toro Rosso behind him as well.
Yes, yes, but here is Maiko probably taking the championship lead after this race. Probably pushing to P2 and probably taking P2 actually. We'll probably go back to the battle for the last point on the table.
Well, it's a good opportunity here for FEO and AMG. Really got to try and maximise the points that he's going to get to build up a lead in this championship.
If it stays like this, he'll be in front with 4 points, and if he finishes in P2, he'll be up with 7 points, which is a really small margin. Which if Thomas wins, probably.
I mean, you can see Darth FIFA 114 in the Williams. He's really getting racy behind FEL Freeze. He's trying to force the mistake, making himself as large as he can in the mirrors, hoping for a mistake. I mean, he's only for 1 point on offer, but every point in this championship is going to count.
This point could decide the championship, man.
Absolutely. I mean, cast your minds back to 2007, Kimi Räikkönen winning the championship by up to
2007.
Yep, in 2008, Lewis Hamilton winning the championship. Oh! That was, oh, he just got weighted. It almost did a Max Verstappen there on Darth FIFA there. Sort of coming across at the last minute and getting in front of him. I don't think he'll be too grateful for that
really
one, but
defending aggressively, like.
But he really wants that point. It's all.
But
this
Luke's
is the battle.
probably got penalties. And Thomas, I don't know.
Well, it's all going to play out towards the end of the race. Fortunately, I'm unable to check the race director at the moment, so I can only apologise to that viewers. But this will add to the suspense, of course. We'll find out towards the end what's going to happen.
If Lucas defends too aggressively, like moving under braking, can you get penalised for that, Adam?
Well, usually the agreement between the drivers has been commonly allowing one move under braking. Sorry, not under braking. One move to defend. However, you're not supposed to be moving under braking, the old Verstappen rule. Most famously caused as a result of Max Verstappen doing that, and the only driver I think I remember that got penalised for that, Sebastian Vettel, back in Mexico in 2015. The old, the old famous one where...
the last corner. Doing a bit of trying to do the switchback, switcheroo.
I mean, this is what we like to see, the guys battling it out, giving it everything
for the
10th place. Point. It's brilliant.
It is.
Looking on the track, I think, he's just about to go around the outside, is he? Gonna make that stick? No, not this time. He just can't seem to get the speed to get up to overtake. That Red Bull is obviously very low.
Jesus, that's really aggressive defending from Lucas and giving Thomas damage, so I think he might get penalized for that one, because he moved under braking really aggressively and...
Well, I mean, it wasn't necessarily under braking, but he sort of moved over. He seemed Duffy for
Thomas was
114,
trying
following
to go
behind
down
him,
the inside. He
and
was there, and then he just
yeah,
he
he's
was
just drove
almost
across
like
him at the last second. Yeah, that's a bit
really
naughty there.
aggressive.
It's a bit naughty from FEL
Too
Freeze there. I
aggressive.
wouldn't be surprised if the stewards looked at that, but obviously we've still got another lap. Well, another lap to go to see this action. As we're on the final lap now, Felix at the front in the sister Williams. He's been at the right place at the right time. He's
We're
driven
going
a
to
very good
battle for
race.
P2.
It's still going on. I think we need to follow. Oh, he's just going in there. He's gonna. They're right on top of each other. This is brilliant. FEOMG knows he's in the championship league at the moment as it stands, but he needs to make sure he can try and maximise.
What is the
points, 'cause
Renault
VSR
doing?
Berry-
He's just going slow.
Yeah, that is a strange one. He's trying to get out of the way, by the looks of it. VSR Berry getting a time penalty, so that puts an end to probably any other positions he's going to make up, despite battling his teammate, VSR IST for 4th. He should be safe in 5th unless he's got any other penalties.
Couple of corners to go. Oh, and Freeze Luke's got a time penalty, so that will hand Thomas position.
And they're still battling. They're still squabbling those two for position. FDL Freeze and Darth FIFA. Although Darth FIFA doesn't know about the penalty yet, but he will.
But here we are for Felix, winning in his second race in the EuroLeague after starting P7. Give this man a big applause. What a race he had driven. Tim, a good job at P2. Maiko P3. And here we have Barry and
oh, so he does go in front of Ice-T. So Ice-T had a few penalties then, and he's...
No,
wow.
he's just going slowly, leaving the gap to...
Oh wow, that's a bit of a problem.
It's a good result for the Racing Point team. Ball freezing the time penalty, multiple warnings. And guys, have a moment for this. Probably Lorenzo getting his first points of the season, which I'm really glad to say. Glad to see the McLaren boys scanning points.
Yeah, no, that's great to see. I have to ask actually, what was going on with Ice-T there? Because he went off the road, his teammate passed him, and then he was just coasting to the line, and then ended up dropping into 6th place. So, gonna have to ask him what
Thomas
that was all
takes
about.
P9 eventually.
Well, and there we go, and they're just about to come across the line now.
It's only 3 points, but Maiko takes a championship lead, but it's only 3 points, so that's really close. And Killer just about outside the points. Monster P13, Tractor in his WDP 415. Ooh, Yellow going crashing over the line. I can say that was a good race, wasn't it, Adam?
Yeah, no, it was a good race. Well, if my maths are right, I think FEL AMG is going to lead the championship by 2 points as a result of that 9th place for Darth FIFA 114. Is it 3 points?
But first of all, congratulations, Felix, on your first win of the season, and also Tim of your first points of the season in a really good P2.
Yeah, and that was a great result.
Also,
it was a great drive.
Alpha's first points of the season, so with 2 teams were getting their first points. So every team has points, so that's really good to see.
I'm starting to get the feeling that a lot of the Dutch drivers seem to be dominating these championships that I'm seeing and covering, and this is another one. So
also Belgian driver faster, but this is the race result of round 6, sorry, in season 4. Felix wins his first race, Tim in 2nd place, Maiko in 3rd place, Visa Barry in 4th place, Simon in 5th, Ice-T in 6th, Urian getting good 6 points in 7th place, Lorenzo getting his first points of the season, 8th, Thomas in P9 after having 2 incidents, Lux in P10, Paul in P11, Killer in P12, Lorenzo aka Yell in P13, Monster in P14, Tractor in P15, Rike in P16, Benjamin in P17, and here are the DNFs, Steve, Alvi and SHR. It was a really good race, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in on the stream and watching this, and I hope to see you at the press conference, which will be held Tuesday 4 p.m. UK time and 5 o'clock for Central European time.
Yeah, don't forget to as well.
Yes.
Your support, and obviously the more that you give us support, the more of you that follow us and share it around,
Mm-hmm.
anyone else can think of more great content than we can for you, because this season is shaping up to be quite
A good season.
a
Mm-hmm.
season.
But I want to thank you guys for watching.